Hi. If you are a female, no matter what age, hopefully under 25, if I'm getting you, hopefully under 20. It's hard. I don't know how I would ever reach you, but if I do happen to reach you, I do want to say this, and I'll try to make it as short and simple as possible. Your life is very young heavy. So you're going to be able to experience and obtain a lot during your youth, because that's when you're very pretty and you're attractive, and you'll be able to get away with all of the hiccups of your existence. So people will be a lot more patient with you while you're young and beautiful. And that's the time not to be sleeping around. That's the time to be looking for a man. That's the time to be finding someone who is willing to commit their life to you, to have a family with you, to provide for you, to take care of you, right? And your position is to work in submission to his leadership. Okay, it's not to be sleeping around. It's not to be focused on your own career. It's not to be competing with your Instagram friends over who has the coolest picture, or how many guys or how many dicks you've had in your fucking pussy. Because what happens is as you get older, you hit what's called the wall. So let's say post 30. The older you get, the less attractive you are to men of value. So you may be confusing sexual attention with committed attention. But at that age, as young as you are, any man who has a dick and any testosterone is going to want to fuck you. And he's going to do anything he can in his mind, all the cleverness, all the game, all of the schemery, whatever, to get to you. He's going to tell you all these things. First, he's going to tell you you're pretty. And then he's going to say, yeah, man, you're your wife material. It could be whatever. It could be a range of anything. If I was your dad and I cared about your well-being, what I would tell you is be careful to not let that sexual attention go to your head, and be careful not to confuse their sexual attention for committed attention, because that is not the same thing, and you'll eventually think you found the guy that you want to marry because he looks pretty and he makes you feel good around all your girlfriends, and then to find out he was just sleeping around. Because on the flip side, where your life is young heavy, men's lives are more older heavy. We get better as we get older. I mean, go back and look at my channel and look at me now, and then go look at me just 2 years ago. And I'm 28. Just 2 years ago, I didn't look as good. I wasn't as mature. I'm still aging. Do you understand? I'm building in my career. I'm starting to earn more money. I'm figuring things out. I'm leading. I'm starting to develop courage. You know what I mean? And I'm able to look at challenges and overcome them. And I wasn't able to do that when I was younger, because it took life, it took experience for me to do that. And that's what's beneficial to you as a woman, right? So what you don't want to do is you don't want to sleep that away. You don't want to dissipate your value by sleeping with a bunch of men, being promiscuous, buying all of the feminist bullshit that doesn't end up being biologically satisfying to you. Because what happens is when you do go to college and try to get a career and focus on all the things that it'd be easier if you found a man to do, then at the time where you hit the wall and you're still single and you haven't settled down with a man, you're not going to be attractive enough for any man of value that you thought you deserved before you slept with all these people. You might have deserved that kind of man before you let your pussy get torn up, but afterwards, it's not as attractive. And this ideology teaches you to believe, well, you shouldn't be able to judge me because of that. Well, men sleep around too. See what I mean? You're going to go down a rabbit hole. And you know what? Believe all that stuff if you want, but it doesn't change the fact that it does not attract a man of value. And you can talk yourself up and down till you're blue in the fucking face about how it doesn't bother you, how men ain't shit, and how, well, I'm a strong, independent woman and I don't need no man. But the fact is that you've gotten where you are largely because of men, and you do need a man. And when shit hits the fan, the first person you go back to is a man, and you want validation from men. You need to be told that you're pretty by men. You need to be told that you're worth something by men. It doesn't matter if your girlfriend says it. No one gives a fuck about that, right? And then when it comes to having a kid, at that time, you're shit out of luck, and you're gonna have to resort to a bunch of schemes, which is pretty pathetic in my opinion. But if you're watching this video, it's possible that no one has ever brought this up to you, and that's the only reason I'm making it, is because we have to. I believe in broadcasting genuine humanity. So I realize there's a bunch of shit out there. And I realize there's a lot of people who have differing views and differing opinions. So I'm going to throw myself in the mix. I have a differing view and I have a differing opinion. But if you really dive down deep into the tune of your soul, you'll realize what I'm saying is not to hurt you. It's to protect you. It's to caution you, to say, hey, you don't have to end up in 15 years after fucking 200 men lonely and wondering where all the good men gone. They didn't go anywhere. They're still there. They're just looking for people younger. They're looking for the you when you were 15 years ago, before you fucked everybody and lost your value and bought into this ideology that you somehow are equal to a man. Well, I'm not equal to a woman. There are things that women have over me that I enjoy. I enjoy the way that women nurture, right? And, you know, of course, I can go down a list on the things that I like about women, but I don't try to compete with that. I don't wake up and think, man, I wish I had as many rights as a woman, or man, I wish I had my food bought for me because I have a pussy instead of a dick. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way that my mind thinks. And typically a balanced male and a matured male, they're not going to think that way. So you can't think at the level of an adolescent child who's being taught by some 40-year-old woman who's single and saying, hey, it's great. It's not great. She's going to home at night and she hates going to bed single. She's on Xanax. 1 in 3 women, or 1 in 4 women are, and this is the actual stat. So this is, you know, I think there's more, but 1 in 4 women are on have a mental health prescription or issue. And a lot of that, I believe, is because what they thought intellectually didn't line up with what their biology was going to reveal to them later. So their brain stopped promoting dopamine or whatever, producing dopamine. Their pussy's not getting wet. They're not happy because the satisfaction is to get continual validation from a man. And this whole ideology is really just put a skip in the record of humanity. And I think it's time that we start correcting that. So if you're under 25, under 20, 18, 10, 5, realize that you will be happier. Listen, if you find a man of value and you commit to him and you haven't slept with 50 guys, right? And you're not texting people and you don't hide your phone, you don't hide your life, you don't do things behind his back, right? You don't go on girl trip nights to Vegas and fuck 3 dudes while you're in a relationship with them. You don't put them in the friend zone. You understand what I'm saying? You have to look past your hand just for a little bit and realize that there's more to meets the eye. There's more to your life than fucking every guy you can when you're 20 and you get everyone to drool over you, because that's not a good bet. That's not a good gamble. It's a bad risk. It's bad. It's terrible statistics in your favor to end up happy. So wrapping it up, be cautious to not let sexual attention and committed attention become clouded in your mind. Men do want to fuck you. Shit, if I saw you and you look good and you were 23, I want to fuck you. But the difference is that someone like me, unless you took on the idea of promiscuity of yourself, I wouldn't take advantage of that. Now, if you went and acted like a promiscuous girl, I would absolutely do that. And then I would leave. And you would never have a chance with me. And that's exactly how it would go. And I wouldn't feel a fucking terrible thing about that, because that's the standard you put over your own life. And that's what I'm trying to tell you is, this is what men are doing. They're seeing what you're putting on your life and they're taking advantage of it. And then you're saying they ain't shit. No, honey, the point is you ain't shit. You have to make yourself worth something to a man of value. And I promise you, you will have a lot more. You're increasing your favorability to end up satisfied within your soul. And not like all these aged feminists who claim to be happy but really are miserable inside. So that's all I got to say. With love.